What's up, fam? Hope you're doing fantastic out there. Today, we're taking a look at a brand that I've really not known about. I've never heard of the brand, and very new to me and very surprising. We'll talk about everything here, but this is the Tacray. I believe this is the Tacray Tarcus is the model. There's some information on it. It does have a kind of the composite handle there, very lightweight, D2 blade steel, Amazon specials. So again, I had not heard of this company. I had not seen anything from them. I really dig the blade shape, and very impressed with the knife in general, especially the price tag. We'll talk about that here in just a second. 3.5 inch blade, so a ton of blade here, 8 inches overall, and 2.7 ounces. Extremely lightweight for the blade shape, or for the blade length. Yeah, I mean 2.7 ounces, getting that on my scale as well. $25 on Amazon right now. As I'm filming this knife is $25 D2, and this peel ply carbon fiber G10 laminate. And this actually doesn't look that bad for that peel ply carbon, but I've certainly seen worse. But they do offer other variations, or other variants, but the other variants are not currently on sale. This one is at $25. Normal price is $35. Even at $35, you're not getting hurt for D2. I have done a little bit of research on these, and from what I can find, the D2 is done pretty doggone well. So I am, I'm not too worried, like I said, on that price tag. And for the D2, it's a nice thin, slicey blade, very nice and thin. You can see that there. And yeah, like I said, for the price tag, I'm quite impressed. Action is phenomenal on it. I really have no issues with the action. Lockup is solid, no movement on it. If you clicked on this video just to get an idea of the knife and find out if you should spend some of your hard-earned dough on it, I would say a resounding yes. I honestly really enjoy this knife, and it's been quite impressive. So let's go ahead and go into our close-ups of it. So there you can see that peel ply. And like I said, it's not the most offensive I've ever seen before. You can see the layering there. So they did a pretty good job with it, all things considered. T6, T8 hardware, crossbar lock. And crossbar lock is done very, very well. Squared off handle looks it's very angular, very, I don't want to say futuristic looking, but it's just very angular. It doesn't look like it should work, but it does. It works pretty doggone well. Open pillar construction, we do have a lanyard post there. Inset pocket clip. It is non-reversible, but inset with flush screws. Great job on that. Very good job on the pocket clip. I don't mind the branding on the clip. I actually prefer that to branding on the blade. Screws everywhere on this thing, so there are a ton of screws on it. Very interesting there. There you have a little bit of branding on the blade itself. That's your Tacray logo. Nice full height flat grind here on this modified Wharncliffe or modified sheep's foot blade. Kind of have a stepped, Wharncliffe there. Very interesting plunge grind that goes all the way up to the spine of the knife. Blade hole opening. There you can see just D2 steel. Again, very, very, very thin blade. So you can see that blade stock there, how it comes in. And it is super, super thin, super, super slicey. Very, very impressed with this knife, quite honestly. I like the plunge grind here. They've done it well. It's a little bit of a longer plunge grind, but that's because you are in sort of a choke-up spot here. But then it stops. I mean, it's like an instant termination. There's no sloping at all into it. So you have a ton of room for sharpening. Speaking of sharpening, let's take a look here. It looks like the sharpening is done well. Don't really see any issues with that at all. Take a look at our tip. Tip looks good. Let's see if we can see that tip. That is a thin, 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 thin tip, but it is done well, and it sure is pokey. Blade centering, I think we already looked at that, but if not, I'll do it again. Blade is perfectly centered. Crossbar lock interface is done really well here. So you can see it's sucks in pretty nicely. Fairly lightweight spring, but it is a discernible click when you get past that. It does have a little bit more of a shelf there, we'll call it, on that crossbar, on that interface. The blade hole is done well. It gives you the perfect spot to be able to reverse flick this. Thumb flick, I can do it fine. I do get just a little bit of blade, or just a little bit of lock stick, depending on how I open the knife. But it's not horrible, and I'm sure it will wear in. It might even just be because of some gunk or something in that lock bar. But it's really, really well done blade, especially, like I said, for the price tag. Now, they do have some other offerings that are a little more premium. I wouldn't mind checking out that I've seen, and I do believe they're a conventional lock and not the crossbar lock. So, seeing how they were able to do this for $35 or $25 right now, then I'm definitely interested in seeing how they do things a little more premium, because this thing is done, like I said, it's done exceptionally well. The design overall may not be my aesthetic, but I do really like how thin it is. I love how lightweight it is. Feels fine in the hand. It is, like I said, it's very angular. The only real hot spot I get is right here in the palm of my hand, right where the edge of that handle hits, because it's a little squared off. I mean, it's chamfered nicely, but it is just a little bit of an abrupt or a blunt end there. So if this was just shaved down just a little bit and just kind of rounded slightly, I think it would be better off maybe if they just matched the angles that we have here with this 45-degree angle. They just matched that to back here. It would probably help the design aesthetic a little bit as well, but I think it would prevent that from digging into the hand. That's really the only hot spot I have on the entire knife. Like I said, you can kind of choke up there, but in the regular grip, it feels great. No jimping, which I'm fine with. I'd rather have none than bad. I mean, it just works really well. I mean, it looks like they could almost have like an accidental front flipper here, but no jimping there. They didn't extend that or anything like that, which of course you can't with a crossbar lock. But yeah, I'm impressed. Color me impressed. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. While we are, or before we get to that point, let's go ahead and check our hardware. T8 is done well, and let's get to checking these 5000 T6 screws. I hope they're all done well, because if these were bad, that would be really bad. Looks like everything is done really well so far. Like I said, I am quite impressed with this little knife. I had a loose screw there, and tighten that up. So this is from the pass around. Like I said, I was interested in checking them out. So very cool. Again, let me know what y'all think. I'm really, really interested to hear what folks' take on this knife is. I don't know why or how I hadn't heard of this knife brand before seeing it in the pass round. So very intrigued. And yeah, anyway, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. As always, please remember to be kind, be humble, be EDC. Take care.